All right, let's get started. So the first question that I have for all of you, I'm going to start with freedoms. How will you defend my health rights, i.e. forced vaccinations? And we'll start on this side, we'll work across again.
Well, since you brought that up, I do have a notice of liability for this. Can I read a bit?
We'll just watch the time lady here in the purple.
I have the right to life, liberty, and security of the person, including the right to access services without discrimination or hardship. Your unlawful actions are in direct violation of the Canadian Constitution, the Coronation Oath, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Bill of Rights, the Canadian Human Rights Act, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. There is no provision in any orders in any health minister, doctor, provincial legislation that can nor pretend that any measures can override charter or other pre-charter constitution rights. So this is a legal matter, and we need to know what the laws are and what we can do within those.
This is, oh, okay. All right. Absolutely, there we go. I absolutely believe in everybody's freedom of choice and freedom of right. The best I can do as an elected official, unfortunately, I'm one of 7 when we're on council, so a majority rules. I will never ever advocate, and I will lobby very, very strongly against any vaccine mandates of any type whatsoever. Unfortunately, when the Alberta government downloads the things that they have on us in the past couple of weeks, we are beholden to that Alberta government for $4 million worth of infrastructure funding, roughly, every year, and there's $100,000 fine. If we were fined $100,000, that would equate to about a 1% tax increase in and of itself. So we have to walk a very fine line as elected officials. We can lobby very hard on your behalf for your rights and against these draconian type restrictions, but but there's not much we can do.
I don't have to switch the mic.
Forced vaccinations and mandates obviously are a very contentious issue, need a lot of deliberation, a lot of thought. There are a lot of components to be considered. I think as Janelle touched on from a legal perspective, there are privacy issues, there are ethical issues. I think mandates of any type are simply one tool in the toolbox. If we get to that point from a broad public health perspective that those need to be used, they need to be deliberated carefully. We need to look at things such as the necessity of those mandates. We need to look at their effectiveness. We need to look at a timeline, and certainly their proportionality relative to the risk and the benefit that is there. And again, looking at the broader perspective, the broader community from a public health perspective.
Thank you. I will answer the way I've consistently answered throughout all of this when I've been asked by any one of the constituents or any one of our residents, family, friends, or anyone else. And this is certainly a very divisive issue within our community, and it is unfortunate. But it is not my position as an elected official to tell you yes or no to get vaccinated or not to get vaccinated. And that's as plain and simple as I can put it, folks. And as the mayor has alluded, once it's mandated to us from the province, we are somewhat handcuffed. Pushing back, I don't know how far that could ever go. But again, it is not my position as an elected official to tell you to be vaccinated or not to be vaccinated. It's your personal choice. Excuse me, your personal choice. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I think that everybody has the right to choose whether you want to be vaccinated or not vaccinated. It's our constitutional right, and it's our freedom, and we shouldn't be forcing it on everybody else. You make the decision, and I don't think the government should be telling you what you should be or should not be doing with your own health. It's clear as that. There is some things that we can do as council. We have already done that. We sent a letter to the province already, just last week, with regards to the current restrictions that they're putting on, that we are opposed to how they were doing it. I do not like that they are creating a division in this society. I think it is wrong and fundamentally against it. Thank you.
I think that's good. I think so, yeah. As my colleagues and people prior to me, they've stated, you know what, it is your right if you want to get vaccinated or not. I am not here to tell you one way or another what you should do with your body. I've chosen to be vaccinated. I choose to wear a mask when I'm told to wear a mask. I will not tell you to do that. That is your own prerogative. That's your own decision. As my previous colleague have said, we've been mandated down by the province. You know, it starts at the federal level, it goes down to the provincial level, and we, being as close to the people as possible, we're the ones that are feeling the majority of the brunt of the divisiveness in our community, and I apologize for that. It's unfair that we are mandating people, or not we, but certain political jurisdictions are mandating people that you have to have a vaccine or not. We don't really have too much control over that. All I can say is that, you know what, it's your body, you do what you have to do with it, and I'm not here to tell you one way or another. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to try to talk real fast here. No. Oh, that's fine. I'm way too tall for this. All right. So I mentioned earlier that I was in the military for a long time. I've traveled all over this world, and part of that traveling is vaccines. It's the reality in the world, right? I've had vaccines for more things than you can shake a stick at. I literally stood in a line while I've been poked with vaccines multiple times, just so that I can go visit a different country or do something in a different place. So vaccines have been a very normal part of my life. But I always chose to do that. Nobody forced that upon me. Even in the military, if I didn't want to get my vaccines, I could always quit and do something different with my life. Same thing here. There's a lot of consequences about not getting a vaccine in our community right now. Those consequences aren't being placed upon you by the municipality. Of course, we have no say in that sort of thing at all. The province makes the rules, and we have to follow the rules, unfortunately. Can we ourselves do something? Well, I think council in their letter to the provincial government is pretty much all they can do. Thank you.
Thank you. I think all Canadians are probably in a state of shock at how easy it is to lose your freedom in this country. It's just not, we do have a choice. We can get vaccinated or we can choose not to get vaccinated. The problem's come is when you need that piece of paper to go into a restaurant, to travel, to go wherever you need to go. That's a shocking exercise to do to Canadians. I think we've lost our freedoms. I think Canadians have never really had to fight for their freedoms. You know, grandparents or great-grandparents have gone off to other countries and to fight wars to protect other people's freedoms, but we've lost all concept of what freedom means for us. And it's a requirement that we all stand up for our freedoms. A council's not going to do it for you. Every citizen in this community stand up. Every municipality would make a stand and stand up against provincial government. That would have a huge impact. To say that we can't do anything, we can.
Thank you. Well, like you, I also spent time in the military, and I've had the opportunity to travel all around the world. And I typically share this story with everybody that I come in contact with. For me, on my last tour, I went to Rwanda. Prior to going to Rwanda, the federal government infected me with a mild strain of Ebola. Ebola's got a 25% death rate. COVID's got less than 1%. My body built up the immunity to Ebola, and if it can do it for Ebola, it can do it for COVID-19. On to the next question.